Hello, I'm David Currie and this is the Scottish Football Podcast on Thursday the 2nd of October, a second date in the Europa League diaries of Celtic and Rangers. Can Celtic get the better of Braga? And is that light at the end of the tunnel for Rangers? Or is it still just as dark in there?
I'm here, we made mistakes, there's been some tough moments, but we are giving everything we've got to improve the club. It's not an excuse, but I think it's pretty evident it might take some time.
Could a win in Graz help convert Martin's naysayers? And the Celtic fans' silent protest is off. Can they roar their team to victory?
I suppose my message is probably for the longer term is that hopefully we can, both parties can sit down and respect the differences and find a solution so that we can all pull together again.
The Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Sports Scotland.
Very warm welcome to you all, and a very warm welcome to our guests today, Scott Allan and Cammy Bell, two old firm old boys who, I'd wager, are fair looking forward to tonight's big games. Or Cammy, be honest, is it with some trepidation as far as Rangers are concerned?
Listen, they've got to be looking forward to the game because they got the win. I know it wasn't ideal at the weekend. It was a late win, which always gives you that little bit of a boost. But certainly, listen, they've got to be looking forward to these European nights. Yes, we know all the noise that's around it, but they've just got to go in there and try and get the job done.
Scott, Celtic, the fans' silent protest is off, and peace talks, as it were, between disgruntled fans and the Celtic hierarchy planned for the 6th of October. I think that's Monday. So does that mean all's well in the Celtic world?
I don't think from a fan's point of view. I think obviously they've got huge frustrations obviously over the summer transfer window. So, but what Celtic and Brendan Rodgers can do is give them performances. I felt in parts there were some really good bits about Celtic against Hibs at the weekend. But I think they'll be looking to get a good win, and that'll maybe get the fans right back on side. And I think with Rangers as well. Sorry, just to go on to Rangers and look at that game tonight. It's a chance for Russell Martin to actually build and put back-to-back wins together. I think that's the biggest key for me. Can he do that, and then they come back to the weekend and Rangers can start to look like a side who's going to go and win games of football?
Well, Russell Martin's been talking about the treatment he's been getting. He was speaking about it last night at his pre-match media conference. He's been roasted by some fans, but he says one of the toughest parts, Cammy, is seeing children gesticulating and swearing at him with their parents. You must have sympathy with that. But do you think his treatment's crossed the line? Has it gone too far?
Yeah, listen, it's starting to get certainly some of it that's coming out seems personal against them. But I just think it's a sheer frustration around the Rangers fans at this moment in time. The way that their seasons went so far, it's been so poor results wise and performances. Listen, you're going to get that frustration from the fans and that anger that's there at the moment. So, yeah, I think it seems as if it is getting a little bit personal towards Russell Martin, but he's trying to take himself away from it. Again, he mentioned that he didn't go onto the pitch. He walked off the pitch to get himself down the tunnel to allow the players to then go and clap the fans. And listen, I don't think it's going to change anytime quickly. So I think they just need to deal with it at the moment, try and get results on the pitch and slowly try and turn this ship.
Well, I was going to say, Scott, do you think what you said last night will have any impact on fan behaviour? Maybe a dad's listening to that thinking, no, I'll need to have a word with the wee man. I'll need to sort my own act out.
Very hard, especially in the west of Scotland, I think, for kids at the football when you look around them and fans are obviously getting really frustrated with performances. Kids kind of follow the actions of what they can see around about them. I just feel, I'm with Cammy, I just think there's a huge frustration in terms of performance and what Rangers fans are watching at this moment in time. And unfortunately for Russell Martin, he's standing at the front of it and he's taking all the frustration of the fans at full blunt. But ultimately, you can change that by performances and winning games of football.
Well, that metaphorical tanker, Cammy, that Russell Martin was speaking about a few weeks back, it may or may not be turning around, but one thing's for sure, they've got a new crew member on board up in the bridge. Robbie Thelwell, son of Kevin, he's taking on the head of recruitment role, working, as it happens, under his old man, Kevin. But regardless of family ties, putting that to one side, they've worked together previously with some success at Wolves and Aston
Yeah,
Villa.
listen, they've obviously got a relationship with being father and son, but again, they've got a footballing relationship. They've worked together, as you say, David. Listen, it certainly has raised a few eyebrows, that's for sure, with regards to his son coming in the door. But listen, we've known for a while that Rangers recruitment hasn't been good enough. So you've got to give him time to bed his still in, and he's going to be judged on the players that he manages to bring to the club and how successful the club are, because recruitment's key for Rangers. It's not been good enough for a long period of time, and that's why they find themselves in the situation they're in at the moment with regards to not getting results, people not being able to handle the club when they come to it as well. So they need to be thorough in their research of what they do and the players they bring to the club. So it's going to be interesting. And again, I think it comes with a little bit of pressure straight away because he is obviously the director of football's son.
Aye, Scott, if the recruitment's not been good enough for some time, as Cammy's alluding to there, how can Russell Martin be expected to turn things round quickly?
I think from structure of your football team and being adaptable in certain formations or in certain games. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Yes, you want to win first and foremost, but performances then lead to winning consistently. And Rangers just haven't looked like a team who can really put that consistent performance together. I think in terms of recruitment, I think there could be players in there who, in a different system, maybe with someone else at the helm could get more out of them. I just think the pressure's been on Russell Martin from the start. Performances haven't been there. Yes, to get the win at the weekend, you look at the reaction of the fans as soon as the final whistle was still not a healthy connection there. So for me, there could be players in the building who are better than what we're seeing at this moment in time. But obviously, Russell Martin has obviously went down the route of obviously the players being really anxious and under pressure. But tonight gives them a chance to go and perform. For me,
A wee bit
Sturm
of
Graz
heckling
are
there.
a wee bit of heckling there, yes. One of the kids that was on Russell Martin. I think for me, Sturm Graz aren't a top European side. I think Rangers should be thinking that they can go there and get a result tonight.
Cammy?
Yeah, listen, I think Rangers can go and get a result. I think it'll be a difficult game, but as Scotty said, I think what you look at in this situation is they have a massive opportunity, and you don't want to look ahead at the weekend. But again, they got the result on Sunday. They've now got a fixture I think they can win if they manage to find the right formula on the pitch, the right intensity in their game. And then they go to Falkirk on Sunday. So I think they're 3 games, and then we've got the international break. So this is 3 big games in a period that can really change things for Russell Martin. I'm not going to say he's going to win all the fans back. Of course he's not. But certainly this period can really change things and ease things up and allow him a bit of time during that international break to work on his team.
Scott, they're away from what could be described as a sometimes toxic atmosphere at Ibrox. Will that make it easier for the players and certainly Russell Martin tonight?
Yeah, I have to say yes, just based on what Russell Martin said about his players and how they've coped with the pressure. They haven't really performed at Ibrox at all. So yeah, I think absolutely, and that's based on what the managers told us and post-match interviews. So I think it does suit them. I don't think, as I said, I don't think Sturm Graz are a top European side. I believe that Rangers have enough quality to go and win the game, but you have to match that intensity and have quality in the final third, and that's where it has been a wee bit lacking for Rangers at this moment.
I mean, your time at Rangers, did you find it easier to play away from Ibrox?
No, listen, again, it's the circumstances at the moment, again, the frustration around it. Scotty's right. I think it is easier for Rangers at this moment in time to play away from Ibrox as players, just because of the noise that comes with it. There's obviously a lot of protests going on. There's so much going on at Rangers at the moment. And again, when it's a game at Ibrox, it allows the fans to focus and try and get their voices heard. So I think at this moment in time, it certainly is easier for Rangers to play away from home.
Well, Scott was talking about he'd like to see more adaptability from Rangers. That's not really something that, maybe I'm wrong here, that Russell Martin really wants. He wants them to play a certain way and in a certain style. Is that fair, Cammy, that he's not been able to adapt to circumstances so far?
Yeah, I think there's been certain times that I've looked at the game and watched the games, and I feel like they did need to adapt and change whether it's tactical changes with their formation or just, again, it can be personnel, and it's not happened. So listen, I think the manager makes the final decision. He puts the players on the pitch with a system that he thinks he can win that game. And for me, it's all about winning games now. They need to get on a run. They need to get on a run straight from tonight, and then they need to continue that on Sunday. So no, forget formations, forget tactics. It's all about winning. He needs to realise that as well. He needs to realise he needs to win this game tonight.
Do you buy that, Scott, that he'll set his football philosophy aside in pursuit of a win, or is that what he needs to do? Just
It's what he should do. It's what he should do in terms of looking at that job long term. Listen, I totally understand managers have principles and ways of playing, but ultimately you come under that amount of scrutiny and you're trying to get a bit of leeway with fans. That comes with you have to win, and if that means you have to change to get the win, then that's what you have to do, especially at a club like Rangers. So for me, yes, there has to be changes in terms of within the game at times. In terms of we're talking about that style of play, quite frankly, I haven't really seen it since Russell Martin's come in. I haven't really been impressed with how Rangers have played at all. I don't think they're slick. I don't think the build-up's great, and ultimately, I don't think they get Rangers fans excited when they get into the final third. I don't think they ask enough questions of opposition defence.
Was he got the players, Cammy, that can play the style and formation he wants to? Is that where things are going wrong?
It's difficult to say. Again, you would like to think the players can adapt to it over time, but you don't get time at Rangers, and I just feel as if I agree with Scotty. It's not happened. I've not seen a real identity style of play. Listen, on Sunday, I think when they looked most threatening was when they were going very direct. The last 10 minutes, when yes, it becomes a little bit of a panic and they need to get that goal, but they're putting balls in the box. They're causing a little bit of chaos. That was the only time they really looked a threat in the second half. They play far too much in their own half. And as Scotty said, the intensity they're playing with as well is too slow to get them up the pitch and play through them thirds. So I just think there's a lot wrong with it at the moment. I would like to see Rangers go a bit more direct, playing the opposition half much more, because that's when I've certainly seen them be successful.
Right, then we'll leave Rangers to one side after guys. I get your prediction on how you think it's going to go tonight, Scott.
I think Rangers will win. I think Rangers will win. You want the score?
No, that's fine. If you want to be more precise, you can. But
no, I'm okay.
Cammy?
Hey, I'm going to go a draw.
Let's consider Celtic now. They are at home to the Portuguese side Braga. Scott, Brendan Rodgers said at his media conference he hoped there'd be a meeting between disgruntled fans and the hierarchy. And would you believe it, lo and behold, a couple of hours later, we read that one has been arranged. That's a magic touch, eh?
That is, yeah. I think obviously he's the guy at the front face of the club who has to answer all the questions. So if he's managed to put that meeting together, then fair play to Brendan Rodgers.
We'll maybe claim the credit for it, but do you think that? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that'll be, an end to the matter? Do you think the board will be able to convince fans that they're on the right trajectory?
I'm not sure. I think it's best to have the conversations though, where you can maybe straighten a few things out. The board can obviously get their points of view, and the fans obviously voiced their frustrations for the last month or so. So I think for a Celtic, for the players' point of view and the manager, it'd be, for all parties, it would be good to get some sort of agreement where there's a ceasefire. Yeah,
Cammy, the disappointment of the failure of Celtic to reach the Champions League is still hanging in the air, isn't it? It's certainly as far as the fans are concerned. But do you think a win at home against Braga could maybe exorcise that demon?
Yeah, listen, I think it's just fresh still. It's still fresh at the moment from that huge disappointment. And again, that comes along with the poor transfer window, because I think all these things play a part in why Celtic fans are so frustrated at the moment. But yeah, listen, all they can do is get on with the job in the Europa League and try and win games. And that starts tonight. I think they've got a big opportunity. I mean, Braga aren't in the best of forms at this moment in time, so I think there is a huge opportunity tonight. And I think Brendan Rodgers will realise that he can slowly start to settle everything down with a big victory tonight.
Celtic fans, Scott, they expect their team to win the league and dominate domestically, but it's kind of Europe where their dreams and aspirations lie.
Yeah, and I think that just comes from the amount of domestic success they've had. I think last year you look at Celtic's run in the Champions League and Brendan Rodgers' interview after the game about wanting to build on that. Unfortunately, that hasn't came to fruition in terms of being backed to that extent in the window. So, but this gives Celtic a run in the Europa League where they can really go and do something. For me, I think if they can get going, they would be a team who would look to get to the latter stages of that. You've obviously seen Rangers do that over the last few seasons. So I just think for now Celtic have to start winning and winning in a certain way. I think that's the key. I think obviously Iheanacho coming in, he has had a good impact tonight. For me, being probably the best impact the signings they've had in this window. I think he's one of the players who gets you off your seat, looks to constantly ask questions defensively. But for me, it's still a difficult game. Braga are a decent side. They obviously beat Feyenoord, I'm sure, at home 1-0. So they do have some real quality on their side. But this might just be the game that brings it together for Celtic.
Celtic, they've got exciting players in the team now, Cammy, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Scotty mentioned a few of them there. That again, they've got players at the top end of the pitch, and I think the more game time that they get, the better they'll get as well, and gel as a team. So I think tonight is a real opportunity, though. I think Braga got beat at the weekend in the league competition. So yeah, I think they're under a little bit of pressure, and being at Celtic Park, I think this just allows the opportunity for the players to enjoy a European game. They'll always enjoy it, but this is one I think they'll really identify and think, yes, it'll be a tough game and they've got to be wary of the opposition, but if they manage to put a marker down tonight and get a good performance and then also the result as well.
I mean, unbeaten over 90 minutes this season, Celtic. The only loss was as such was that Kairat Almaty game, which they lost in penalties in the Champions League qualifiers, but they've not been firing on all cylinders. Really, is it just because of injuries to some key players, or is it they're just not gelling?
I just don't think they've clicked yet. I think, listen, we're only in October, as you said. They've not lost in a 90-minute game. I do feel at the back, even there's been a lot of chopping and changing in terms of coming into the back line as well, which isn't easy. Obviously losing Alistair Johnson, Kieran Tierney hasn't played every game, new signing, so there has been a lot of disruption in terms of that back four. Players coming in trying to find their feet, but I just feel tonight could be one of the games that just it all clicks for Celtic, and they look back at it saying they've had their spell where it hasn't maybe been as fluent as we're used to seeing from Celtic, but tonight could be the game for that.
I didn't manage to score against Hibs at the weekend. It's not the best of warm-ups for a big European game, is
it? No, but in fairness, Hibs defensively were really structured and made it really difficult. They were creating chances, just didn't take them. I think you look at Hibs. Are they going to set up Braga going to set up the same way as Hibs did? I'd be very surprised if it did. I feel that Braga will look to have a threat and try and get ball control in terms of that midfield area. So different games, as we spoke about earlier, adaptability. So we'll see what Celtic bring tonight in terms of creativity.
Well, the fans, as we mentioned at the start of the rediscussion, have called off their silent protest. How much difference could that make, Cammy, if Celtic Park might not be full? But
yeah, listen, I think it's good news for Celtic, because ultimately they want to get the fans back on side. Yes, they're there in their numbers as always, but again, there's just that real, almost a little bit of disconnect between the fans and the board at the moment. So they'll want to try and dampen that down and just concentrate on the pitch, because as I say, I really do think tonight's an opportunity to get Celtic's season up and running. And it's strange saying that, because as I say, they've not been beaten in 90 minutes. So, but it just feels like it's not clicked for them yet. And I feel like tonight could be one of the nights that this just might kick Celtic into gear.
Well, that being said then, Cammy, would you like to make a bold prediction about how tonight's going to go at Celtic Park?
Yeah, I think Celtic will win the game and probably win it quite comfortably tonight.
Scott, last word to you on this.
Yeah, I think Celtic will win. I think it'll be a tighter affair.
Great stuff, guys. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. Many thanks to Scott and Cammy for joining us, and thank you for listening. Remember, we're here with new episodes of the Scottish Football Podcast, bright, breezy and early every day. So to make sure you don't miss out, subscribe on BBC Sounds and have push notifications turned on in your phone. Take care, folks, and please enjoy the football.
For everything you need to know about your team this season, download the BBC Sport app. All the latest news, goal updates, stats and scores, and insight and analysis. Just select your club to get the biggest stories and best content at your fingertips. What a result. Download the BBC Sport app for everything you need to know about your team this season.